As a fourth-generation leader of Copp's Buildall, Steve Copp has been more than just a business owner. He's a cornerstone in the London, Ontario business community through his business acumen, generosity, and a deeply rooted commitment to family and community. Steve continues to lead the way.
He has a passion for his family business and his group of companies. He has a passion for his employees. He has a passion for the city. I think all those things coming together, can't say enough about how he balances all of those out when in his day-to-day and also on a personal level.
From day one, Steve focused on fostering meaningful connections. What began as a friendship became a partnership, a theme that has continued to define his professional and personal relationships.
It's not just about selling lumber, but also he's a solution of building homes in London and building them faster and building them better with better technology, as Copp's has always done.
Over the years, Steve has brought people together, not only for business, but for the good of the community as a whole.
One of the things that Steve did was take all the builders who were loyal to him and had a high volume on trips. And that built a huge amount of camaraderie, not only between the builders now because they're all off having fun, but also some suppliers and also some of the fact that you got into conversations that you wouldn't normally get into, whether those were charity ventures, whether those were business ventures, or whether they were connections that they wouldn't necessarily normally see.
Steve and his group have always helped bring the community together, and I think it's really done a service to the whole city, which other cities really don't have.
Under Steve's leadership, Copp's Buildall thrived. Despite industry challenges, he maintained a commitment of service and integrity that customers could rely on.
When I started, that's when the first big box retailer came to London. And most of the industry were saying the small independent lumber dealers and stores were going to get wiped out. Through Steve and his leadership, obviously with Braille, not only did they not fold their cars, but they came out of it stronger than ever.
He was able to take over from his dad, and it was as if nothing had changed. It was very seamless. However, from the inside, he was doing many different things. You can certainly see the Copp's Buildall arm that he is in control of, and the size of that, and the number of employees that he employs. And you have many other corporations that he's involved with or owns. And all of them contribute to the community because they're providing many jobs, and they're good jobs.
Steve's dedication to fairness has shaped his approach to business, even when things took an unexpected turn.
Well, I first met Steve, this got to be over 30 years ago. I went into the office one day, and my lawyer advised me that there was a lien on one of our jobs, and it was from Copp's Buildall. And I'm like, how could Copp's Buildall be leading our jobs? We're not even doing business with them. Turns out one of his customers bought all this material from Copp's. It was in the framing business. We were building some townhouses back then, framed our townhouses, never paid the Copp's bill. So we ended up with a lien, and I'm like, I'm ready to go to war with Steve, right? I never met him before, I never talked to him in my life. And my lawyer said, well, the guy to talk to there, is Steve Copp. So I get him on the phone, and I'm ready, and I'm thinking, this is gonna be a drag out, big fight. And he's like, apologetic and just like, God, this is the last thing I wanted to do, but I got a lot of money invested in this. And he says, I just wanted to talk to you, and you weren't returning my calls. And I said, well, you definitely got my attention. Anyway, after about an hour, not only did we get the matter resolved, but I've been one of his customers now for over 30 years. I'd say he's one of my biggest suppliers.
That interaction highlights what sets Steve apart: a commitment to open communication and a genuine desire to build lasting relationships, even when the circumstances are less than ideal.
Is that he can see that in people, and he can find ways to help them when they're not necessarily having the best of times. The way that he can do that is either through strictly communicating, helping them, giving them ideas, or perhaps it's other ways.
Steve is probably one of the only people I know that could bring all the major developers and builders in the City of London together for a greater cause.
As a fourth-generation leader, Steve carries the legacy of his father, Braille Copp, with pride and respect.
Braille, who was an incredible leader in his own right, and a laureate, of course. And then for Steve just to carry this on, and again, not just carry on, but expand.
The amazing thing is he's taken the company to a whole different level. He had big shoes to fill. Braille was quite the businessman, quite the man, real gentleman. But he would be so proud of Steve today.
Steve Copp's influence extends beyond the business realm. His contributions to charity and community causes have brought invaluable support to those in need.
Steve and I went on a tour at my sister's place. Oh, it's got to be 7-8 years ago now. We were just so impressed with the work that they were doing. So Steve, we would have client appreciation, and take him to Las Vegas or the Kentucky Derby or whatever. So we were in Vegas one night, and just before dinner, Steve got all of the builders that were there together. And we told them the story about my sister's place and how they needed to raise some money to put an addition on in a Dundas Street location, and they needed a new elevator, and they needed help. And fundraising, they needed about $400,000 they were trying to raise. So within an hour before we went out for dinner, Steve raised the whole $400,000 from the group that was there.
I've never seen him ask for any recognition for any of the donations that he has done, which is just a great way of him showing that it's not about the donation, it's about the community support that you're trying to build and lifting people up when they need to be lifted.
Above all, Steve is a family man, balancing work and family life. He leads by example, cherishing time with his loved ones while nurturing the next generation.
His children, his wife Ann as well, have always been the most important thing in his life. He puts his family above everything.
It is this combination of leadership, community spirit, and integrity that has led to Steve's induction into the London and District Business Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Steve, on this well-deserved recognition. You've not only built a business, but you've also built a legacy that will inspire generations to come.